So, hi, Paolo.
Hi, Ben. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Tell me something about yourself first.
Well, yeah, I'm 50. I'm an architect, and I started doing this kind of stuff. So 3D and visualization back before the university. So it's 30 years I'm doing this stuff. So it started as a hobby because I was actually painting and drawing as a hobby, but not just as an hobby because I did some competition and whatever. Then I discovered 3D and I moved my passion on the 3D, and then it became quite quickly my work. Back in the beginning of the 19th, I think. At that time, it was really hard to explain friends and parents what I was doing because what the hell is rendering? You know, I was the strange guy doing strange stuff. Now everything is mainstream, and so I mean 3D has become really a wide arena. We know, but yeah, I'm lucky because I saw the birth of this world and the evolution of this world. I remember that, I mean, when I started doing 3D stuff, which was not architectural visualization. In the beginning, I was doing movies, character animation, completely different stuff.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
And on the Amiga, or?
No, yeah, I started on the Amiga. On Sculpt 3D imaging and light, but then I mean I tried everything that was out there back at those times. By the way, it was really primitive tools. Then I used 3D Studio on DOS for a few years, and then I discovered Lightwave, and I fell in love with Lightwave. I never abandoned it. By the way, I use other software. I know quite well other softwares, but Lightwave is still my main software for anything 3D related. And yeah, so I mean, I started back at those time, and nothing was there. No global illumination, no scattering. So it was fascinating because you had actually to do everything manually. No, so I mean, it was quite challenging, intellectually speaking, no, because you had to find a way to create vegetation, to create nice lighting. I mean, you had to think a lot about how to achieve a good result. Now everything is much easier on the technical side. So the big evolution is that now any 3D artist can concentrate more on the creative aspect, and with AI it will become even more like that. But yeah, I think that, I mean, starting so early gave me the possibility of being an artisan. You know, I know how to go in depth of the 3D stuff. You know? So when I have to solve the problem, I'm like a sartorialist, no, with the scissors, and I mean I can go really in depth into the matter of the 3D, and that's a cool thing that maybe I see that many younger artists still miss, because it's an approach that you learn. Yeah, I needed it. No, if you don't need it, you will not do it. And so yeah, this is my luck, because even if I'm not, I mean, a kid anymore, okay, so maybe I'm not so fast, I'm not so I mean, I'm not so fresh, but on the other side, I have this kind of experience of
and you are an expert
solving stuff. Yeah, you know. So that's my story. Then after a while, I started working on, I mean, while I was studying architecture, I started doing 3D for my examination, and then I started doing this for work, and then rapidly this evolved into Engram. So I found cooperators, and I started doing bigger and bigger projects, and then I founded Engram in 15 years ago. I mean, the name was set 15 years ago, but Engram exists for something like 25 years, and that's it. So then now it's an international company working on big competition, and that's it.
So what are you working on now? I see flower beds.
These ones?
Yeah, no, in Lightwave. So tell me about what you're doing there.
Yeah, well, you mean, let's speak about vegetation and how we manage the complex stuff, no? Because yeah, one thing, I mean, I think that there are many areas in the softwares that are important depending on the kind of market you work on. But definitely when it concerns architectural visualization, but not just architectural visualization in general, when you have to create a scenario which is needed for movies, for games, for anything, especially for architectural visualization, the managing of the complexity is the key point, no? Because global illumination is good, materials are good. I mean, every software has everything. No, I don't think that that's the difference. The difference is how you manage the complexity and how quickly and easy you can manage it. And I think that, I mean, in Lightwave, we have a really powerful tool set for this. I mean, the instancers in Lightwave apparently is really a simple tool. No, it features few tools.
Yeah.
Let me open it. Okay, so this is the instancers in Lightwave. I mean, it's really basic. No, so you load stuff, you set some properties for the items, and apparently that's it. But it's not, because in the real production you have controls that you don't have in any other software. For example, the possibilities of setting the parameters for each single asset. I mean, we use also other software, and when you load a bunch of plants like this, for example, all the properties that you put here, so the scale, minimum, maximum, the offsets, rotation, are set for the full group.
So they're all shared. You can't have individual settings.
Yeah, you have minimal individual settings. You can just set the base scale. But here in Lightwave, for example, we can say that, I mean, the first cactus, we are speaking, for example, of a desert vegetation, the first cactus should be, I don't know, much bigger. Let me make it another color, for example, blue. Okay, you see, I can just make this one the single one bigger, or raise the randomization. So for example, I want the small one to be very small and the big one to be very big. Or for example, I want that only on this item, I want to put a texture like this that creates an extra scaling just locally, in some places. So you see, I can add a 200% scale just in some places. You see that just some of these are going to be bigger. So yeah, that's really a cool thing, because you can manage the ecosystem pretty much in detail. You know, in other software, it's much heavier, and you need many layers, so many instances to get the stuff done. Here in Lightwave, I can control everything, because you lack this sartorialist control over stuff. Here in Lightwave, I can set whatever for any single item, so it's really cool. Maybe for some, I mean, if you open the instancer, it may look simpler than other distribution system, but this individual control is really a huge thing.
Cool.
Then there is other nice stuff that maybe I want to show you, because it can be nice also for other Lightwave guys. One thing that we miss apparently in Lightwave is the clustering system. So it means plants are not just random placed on a plane. No, if you load them here, you can set the amount. You can even set a texture that controls where each item is, and not so empty and filled with each single asset. But
so you can use an image to dictate your placement.
Yeah, you can use an image. For example, if I turn off the nodes, you see the cactus is driven by this kind of texture. So where it is white, you have the cactus. Where it is black, you don't have the cactus. If you turn this off, it will be everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So you can control individually where each item is going to be through a texture, or even through a layering of texture. So you can go very complex. But what is missing in the basic instancing, but it is nicely compensated by other tools that I will show promptly, is the fact that this kind of texture should interact. So if you have to put manually a texture in each of these assets, then when you change something, you have to change everything else. So it's a bit, you can control everything, but it can become time consuming. Lot of control, lot of work here. But I found this nice way, which is using the nodal. I mean, here you have access to the nodal into the instancer, and here you can do really crazy stuff, because Lightwave has an insane amount of logic nodes, of powerful nodes that allows you to create behaviors, not just textures or mixing texture or stacking texture. The beautiful thing about Nodal in Lightwave is that it is logic. I mean, it's nearly close to a coding language, no? A simple visual coding language. I mean, I remember time ago, someone in Lightwave coded Tetris. You could play Tetris inside Lightwave because he coded something through the nodes. So it's very powerful. But now,
wow.
This is very simple. What I did is this. Through NodeMeister, this is a plugin from DB View Tools. You can create something that is instanced across all the assets. So you see, in each of these assets, in the distribution, I have this node going into a multiply, so I can set maybe the amounts more precisely. But you see, I have just 3 outputs, and internally it is like that. I mean, inside this one, you see, this is the outputs, and each of this one is driving one of these kind of items. But all of them are connected through a single texture. So what I'm doing here is using this one. So this is a simple turbulence in world coordinate mode through a color corrector. And then here we have the gradients. So for example, in the output number 1, I'm just considering, the dark areas.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's how you're the 3 gradients with the same turbulence texture are driving the different areas.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to pick the areas from this texture, so the dark areas, you see, and then I can even manage them. I mean, you see, in real time there, you see that I can say that, I mean, whatever is controlled by the area 01, I can control where it happens. So the top is black, the bottom is white. So I can say, okay, all of the items connected to the output area number 1 are appearing in the dark side. Then this is the second one. These are more present in the middle area. You see that I can drive the behavior very, very precisely through keys. You see that whatever I change, I get different behaviors. And then there is the third area, which is
mainly down at the bottom. This
is covering the white area. So once that everything is connected, and now in the new Lightwave, we feature a beautiful preset system, so I can drag this stuff onto the bar, and then I can load it anytime for controlling new ecosystem that I'm going to build. Just using this texture, you see, if I rotate the angle, all the ecosystem will change. I have the global control over everything. For example, if I raise the luminance gamma, I mean, you see that I'm going to raise basically the white areas. So you see that whatever is in the dark areas here is disappearing, because basically I'm making everything brighter, raising the gamma. So if I lower this, I do the opposite. So you see that whatever I do here, I can really control the behavior of the ecosystem. Now, I have other stuff ready. For example, this one will control everything using another texture, which is this one. So you see that this is kind of patches. So black patches will get one kind of asset or more kind of, I can connect 2 or 3 of them to this gradient, to this output. Then there are the middle one and the bright one. So you see that with this guy here, I can get a cell-like behavior. Now, maybe the patch is a bit small, so you don't see it, but I mean,
I can see exactly how the differences between the two kinds of gradient thing. That's fantastic.
So I can allocate anything what I want, and I have at my disposal all the texture of Lightwave, which are a lot of powerful procedural texture that allow me to do organic stuff or cell-like stuff. There are this kind of plantation that you quite often see, where there are group of specific plants close one to the other. So you have dry grasses here, flowering bushes here. I mean, you have clusters.
And it still feels organic rather than using an image where the colors dictate the individual things precisely.
Exactly. Here I'm basing everything upon the tones of gray. But by the way, here I can even load a color image and assign the color. So I can say, on the red, I want this to 1. On the yellow, I want this to 1. Okay, so I can really drive the composition of the vegetation, because without this, it's a bit more tricky, because you have to go in texture by texture, putting a texture in the weight, and when you change one, you have to change the other. In this way, you control everything.
All in one go.
in the root. Okay, it's a root system to control the instancer. So it's really cool, I think. And then, by the way, beside this, there are also other nice behavior that we can build in Lightwave, which is through metamorphic, or I'm using paint weight tool from third powers. I mean, once that you create a weight map on the plane, you can paint whatever you want. So you can attach the weight to the size, to the density. So I can paint the density of the plants. I can paint the size of the plants. For example, in some softwares, even I mean the most acclaimed ones, there are brushes to delete or add stuff in the instancing system, but it's really hard to paint the size. Nice feature that comes in 2023 is the brush. So it's very cool because basically you can set up a brush mode and paint. I mean, you can still use the distribution that you have in the nodes or whatever you did previously in the random mode. Then you paint. I mean, once that you step to brush, it will delete everything, but you can paint on everything, and it will fill using the rule that you have set up in the nodes or wherever you have set up rules. So it will respect the distribution that you have set up, and this is quite cool. And then you can add or remove stuff in the instancer. You see that now I'm deleting stuff here.
Yeah.
Or I can add it back, and I can add it with different densities. So 0 means that I can make it denser. If I make, for example, now I remove everything here, I have more instances, so some of the stuff is not going to be deleted, by the way. If I set a distance of 0.5, whatever I'm going to add is sparser. So this is really powerful. I think it's a nice feature that you have added to the top of everything else.
Yeah, and it's quite fluid as well, isn't it? It's not. It's not slow.
No, it's very fast. It's very fast, even in comparison with other software inbuilt brushes for instances. It's really super fast. And the other cool thing, in comparison with previous releases of Lightwave, we could do similar stuff with paint weight, but it was relying on weight map. So we should have a dense subdivision of the placer where the instancer is.
Of course, yes.
Now it is not, because it is probably an internal painter, so it is not relying on vertex, no. So it's relying on direct painting. So basically, even with a square or very simple geometry like that, I can paint in detail without having to subdivide the mesh a lot. So it's a super nice and super quick tool that helps going even farther in the powerfulness of Lightwave for vegetation. And that's not just vegetation, because I mean, this is complexity management. Whenever you have complex environment, you have to rely on instancing for everything. I mean, it can be rocks, it can be plants, it can be even people, for example, to scatter people on a large area. I don't know now. Many things could come in mind. Even a parking lot. No, you can define rules in Lightwave, so you have the cars rotating by 0 or 180 degrees, and when you brush, you will fill or empty the parking lot. So it can be useful for so many things, for everything, basically.
Nice. Yes. With the car park, the parking lot, this was always a big issue, that the rotation wasn't fixed to. You could rotate by a random amount, but not fixed. But you can just use nodes for that.
Yeah. We can use nodes for that. Brackets. I should set up this. I don't have the 3D, but you can define a node flow in order to. I think I have something greedy, but I have to import it. Let me check. No, I was just mentioning this, but I don't have it ready to be shown. Let me see. Maybe I have it in the old nodal system.
I mean, if not, it doesn't matter. It's just it was just a spur of the moment thing.
Just checking step rotation. Yeah.
Step rotation. Yeah.
This one. Yeah, I don't know if you want me to set up something to show this, but I can just show the node flow, no? Because this is just something that provides random rotation between 0 or 100%. So the cars are rotated in one way or the other, but not randomly. So you can do this. I don't know if you want me to set up a parking lot, but it could take some time.
No, it's okay. Just showing this is enough, I think. So the random integer, why do you use a random integer?
Well, because this is basically the seed. Changing the seed will change the 0 or 100 or 100% in all of the cars. So you randomize the direction of the cars with this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then you modify this. I mean, this is something else. I don't remember. This is the angle 180. This is going to multiply the 180 by 2.
Yeah, for 360. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
and then you make the vector
to the x. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
No, I understand. Excellent.
No, that's an example of how deep you can go with the Lightwave instancer. No, because other software, let's make, for example, 3ds Max. No, you have Forest Pack. It's very beautiful. They have, for example, preset rules set up for this kind of stuff, no? 100, this kind of stepped rotation, but it's something that is built in. You cannot
you can't change it.
No, it's just another button, no, that they added. But in Lightwave, I mean, once that you get into the nodal, you can do anything. No, you don't need to have, I mean, once that you have done this, you can even find this easily on the web. There are a lot of places where people is sharing this kind of stuff. You can save it out in the presets here.
Yeah.
And then you can use it whenever you want, but you can do much more because you can define an infinite, potentially infinite amount of rules and behaviors for the instancer. So
yes, of course.
It's really incredibly powerful.
So, and for instance, for car parks that aren't just straight, you can do 90 degrees.
Yeah, 90 degrees, or maybe I can set up an additional small rotation, just adding a random angle here. So it can be 0 or 1 or 180, but I can add a plus or minus 5 degrees. So the cars are not all aligned.
For bad parking.
Yeah, just for making an example. But you can define really an incredible amount of rules. Even using the Raycaster, you can achieve really complex stuff that it's not so easy to achieve in other software because you have to rely on pre-made solutions. No, here, yes. I mean, power comes at a price. No, you need to have some more control. But I mean, once that you have built or downloaded your preset, this just has having the preset that other software have, but then you can build many more.
Change it.
Change them or even build new ones depending on the behavior that you want to create.
Cool. So
really, I think that Lightwave is an insane tool for this kind of management of the complexity. Really cool stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then, I can show something. By the way, most of the projects we are working on are a big project and under heavy NDAs. So that's the reason
I know.
We can publish and show really little stuff. Maybe we can start from the website, since a lot of stuff that is here is Lightwave. For example, this one is Lightwave. By the way, we use Lightwave and Octane. So yeah, we love Octane. It's really, I think, the best GPU engine out there. It's extremely fast.
I went to South Korea in 2019, and at one point we were going on a tour of Busan, and they have raised sections like this with, circular things, and it's so scary because you're up high and you've got no control. So it's like being on a roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, it's a nice project, by the way. But yeah, it should be a nice experience being here.
Yeah.
A bit scary, I agree. But anyway, for example, I can tell you quick stuff about this project, for example, and why Lightwave was useful on these projects. For example, in this one, we had to remodel. I mean, we got the model from the client, by the way, but we had to remodel a lot of stuff because some alignment here are really tricky. Here we have two passages that are merging together, and we needed the UVs in order to have the division on the bridge. I mean, in Lightwave, that has to be said. the modeling in Lightwave, even if the modeler, we all know that many things should be addressed. It's an old architecture, whatever you want, but I think that the sartorialist, again, the sartorialist approach that you have in the modeling in Lightwave is unmatched in any other software. You can really go into the shapes, into the flows of the geometry. It's really, I mean, probably the best architectural visualization modeler that I used. Much better than anything else. Let's see other example. Okay, this was Octane and Lightwave again. Always beautiful. Managing the complexity was easy. Even here, it's Lightwave again and Octane.
Wow. I love the red and the blue.
Yeah, it's powerful project. I want to find something where I can explain specific stuff. Okay, this one is a project in Neom, and I mean, this image is really suggestive, because at the time we could not publish the full project because it was under NDA. Now it's undisclosed. The images that we produce, I can show you something about that, but not because it's great images, but because there is a technical interesting thing that I want to show.
Okay.
Wait, let me. Okay. See this one. For example, you see that it's a big, super big gradonate that goes into the mountain.
Okay.
Let me show something else. Wait 1 second.
Yes, because the image is beautiful, but I can't.
Yeah, it's abstract.
I can't grip what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I know, but our style is quite abstract. So most of the time, I mean, we like the fact that you cannot.
The mystery, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the project. You see, it's a huge staircase going into the core of the mountain near the sea. You see the landscape here. It's made of millions of lamps.
Okay. I thought that can't be natural, but it is lamps.
Yeah, it is lamps, and the beautiful thing here is that with Octane, we could actually instance millions of this kind of light with the texture map on it to have the colors, and having them cast light on the scene. Because, for example, we tried this with other software, and I mean, it was really impossible to get the light out of each single lamp on the landscape, on the plants. It's really a super heavy calculation. But I have to say that Octane in this kind of stuff is, I mean, 10 times superior to anything we tried. Even super notorious engines struggles in stuff like that. And with Octane, we can solve this really easily. So that's a cool thing that, I mean, we could do thanks to Lightwave. And let me see if there is anything else that I can tell you.
You concentrate a lot on vegetation. I can see it in all your images.
Yeah, but that's another thing. I mean, in comparison with other softwares, Lightwave can handle an insane amount of instances, and even then, the scene is still fluid. By the way, you cannot expect to show them as wireframe, and you have to rely on bounding box. But anyway, managing a scene with 10, 15 heavy and complex instances is still much more fluid than most of the software out there. And this is cool because when it's down to managing complexity like that, I mean, time is money, and also time is quality, because if you cannot afford making a lot of tests, and if you get stuck into the scene because everything is freezing every 5 minutes, I mean, you cannot work. Lightwave is super fluid even in this kind of scenario. So yeah, fluidity is the thing that I love about Lightwave, even knowing quite well other software. The one thing that I always say is how much the Lightwave guy is thin. No, you have the impression of being inside the scene, because the interface is I mean, it's really basic. It's super easy, text based. No, it's not cluttered. Everything is hidden in panels, but then the interface is transparent. No, you don't, there is anything between you and the scene. You have really the impression of being inside the scene. With other software that I used, a lot of them, the interface has a role. I mean, it is Hebe, so there is something between you and the scene. I mean, I have not the same feeling of having my hands into the project, into the scene. Yeah. The interface is thick. No, it's like having a thick glass between you and the real world. Even this one is an old movie. It's quite old. We did this in Lightwave and Octane. Actually, it was one of the first movies that I did in Lightwave and Octane. And as you see, it features a lot of, I mean, it's really complex because the ecosystem here is really something.
Wow, yeah.
And vegetation is fully animated. Wait.
And is this all 3D, or is some of it composited?
No, everything is 3D. But wow. You see, it was super easy to animate vegetation here. And the scene were really fluid. I mean, it is incredible that I could animate everything with the breeze and render this in 40 seconds, 1 minute per frame at full HD. It's full HD, and I mean, these two scenes were not done in Lightwave, but even then, you see that here, everything is animated. And I mean, even scrubbing through the animation with the Octane real-time preview was so light, was so easy, you know, and it was a nice experience. I mean, it was even one of the first movies that I did in Octane and Lightwave. I did many other, but I cannot publish anything. No, that's the point.
Sure. Okay, well, listen, you've been more than generous with your time, and we've spent. We laughed about not doing an hour, but we've now spent nearly an hour. So
it's okay.
I think that what I'll do is I'll say bye-bye to you now, and I will edit the stuff down, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much, Paolo.
You are more than welcome.
We'll talk again soon, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always available. I mean, for Lightwave, I'm here all of the time.
So okay. I will speak to you soon, Paolo. Ciao for now.
Ciao, Ben, and thank you so much for calling me here. It was a nice experience.
For me too.